English Teacher, Part 84. The colon is a symbol used after a formal introductory statement to direct attention to what follows, and a positive after a sentence, a formal list or explanation, or a long quotation. Examples: illustrate on the whiteboard or overhead projector examples sentences in which colons should be used. Prepare a handout that contains examples of the sentences that call for the use of colon and others in which colon would be inappropriate. Summary: ask your students to give an oral or written summary of the rule of the use of colon as a punctuation mark in written English. Well, sometime we can emphasize the fundamentals by restricting an initial explanation, especially to the critical attributes or essential features, that is, stick to what your students need to know and leave what is nice to know till the later. Stress key ideas and show how they are linked, keeping non-critical attributes or unessential information in the background. Frame your explanations to match your students' level of understanding. Use language in keeping with their interest. Your students should not have to struggle with the vocabulary you use to explain new information. Train your students to listen for the components of your explanations as the main points, supporting the facts or information, essential features, advantages, disadvantages. Stress these elements as you explain them. Few learners master new materials unless the instructor provides clear, relevant examples to illustrate his or her explanations. Several types of examples will be discussed. Good examples will help your students to relate new learning to what they already know. Provide specific details, add interest, and make difficult ideas easier to understand. Monitor the effectiveness of your explanations and be sensitive to the feedback. Watch for signals such as blank or puzzled looks, wandering attentions. If you sense that your students seem not to be following your explanations, alter your speed of the delivery or move from the abstract to the concrete information, asking more questions or introducing more or simpler examples. Check your students' interpretation and comprehensions of your explanation by asking them to paraphrase or demonstrate its content. Provide reinforcement as appropriate and reattach as necessary. Reteach as necessary. Well, there is another case study, and this is Mr. Parisian planned to introduce brainstorming to his grade 7 class. He knew his students would benefit from practicing the techniques and could apply it to many future situations. He began to explain brainstorming. Most of us haven't much practice letting our ideas flow and our minds be creative. Often we're afraid someone will say, "No, that's not the right way," or "It's time to be quiet." Brainstorming is a way of collecting many ideas about almost anything. It's also a way of hitchhiking on one another's ideas. We accept all the ideas that surface while we are brainstorming. We don't stop to make judgments about them right then. We just let the ideas come. Brainstorming can be exciting and lots of fun. When people let themselves think of different ideas and build on others' ideas without judging them, they pile up a whole range of ideas to choose from later on, and some of them perhaps quite new. Industry uses this technique to solve problems, make decisions, and find new products of the ways of working. Well, Brett volunteered last year whenever anyone did something really good or our teacher called it a brainstorm. Several others agreed, remembering the incidents. Mr. Parisian explained people may use the word in different ways, but the technique I'm going to show you today has got certain rules. This is how it goes. I'm going to tell you about a problem that needs solving.